Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Namaskar. I, Dr. Reena Vaishnav, Assistant Professor in English Department at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. In last session, we have discussed what is simple present tense and the structure of the simple present tense, how we have to use it, what are the rules and regulation, in which conditions we have to use the simple present tense. We also discussed present continuous tense also, like the action is going on, the action is running, the different changes, right. There are the typical three uses of a present continuous tense, right. In present continuous tense forms is subject, verb and object, and after verb you have to put ing. So, in this session we are going to discuss another two tenses. The name is simple past tense and past continuous tense. Simple past tense and past continuous tense. So, what is a simple past tense? In Gujarati you can say sado bhutkal, right. Whatever the action happened in the past, for that we have to use simple past tense. What is the form of a simple past tense? How we have to structure the sentence? So, the form of the simple past tense is subject, verb, object, but in a verb we have to use V2 form. What is a V2 form? So, there are irregular verbs like give, gave, given. Here I have draw one chart. It is called irregular verb. The first one is give, gave, given. So, give, it is the first verb form. Second, gave is a past tense of the form, right. You can say V2 form, and the third form is V3, given, or you also can say past participle. In Gujarati you say bhut krudant, right. So, it is a V1 form, it is a V2 form and it is a V3. Give, gave, given, eat, ate, eaten. V1, V2 form, V3 form. If you are using, like if I am telling in such a way, like I eat an apple, right. So, what I use? I eat an apple, right. If I say I ate an apple yesterday, ate, A-T-E, it means V2 form. So, it is a past tense form, V2 form. So, it indicates simple past tense, okay, and eaten is a V3 form. We have to particularly mainly use it in a perfect tense, right. So, and simple past tense structure or form is subject, verb and object, and in a verb we have to mainly use second form of the verb, or you can say V2 form. I have written two examples of it. For this you can identify, like this sentence belongs to simple past tense. The first sentence is I played football with my friends yesterday. I played football yesterday, right. Played. What is the main verb? Play. And after the main verb we have used actually ed. In any verb form there are some rules and regulation, particularly so many verbs have their own past tense form, like eat. So, you can't say eated, right. E-A-T, eat. So you can't write in such a way like E-A-T-E-D. Its own past tense form is ate, A-T-E, right? But some of the verbs are there. So if you want to make a past tense form, so after that verb, simply you have to put it ed, right? There is a word like play. So play, P-L-A-Y. If you wanted to make a past tense form, then after play, you have to simply put ed. It means played. So played, it is a verb, past tense form, right? Of which, and what is the main verb of this verb? Play, play, played, played. V1 form is play, V2 form is played, V3 form is also played, right? So I played football with my friend yesterday. Yesterday, I played football with my friends, right? Rima gave us a present for our wedding anniversary. Rima, third person singular. If it is a simple present tense, so you have to focus, like if it is a simple present tense, you have to put S or ES after the main verb. But we are talking about simple past tense. So in simple past tense, what you have to do? You have to make past form of the verb, right? So here, gave. So what is the main verb of gave? So gave, main verb is give, gave, given. I have written there, give, gave, given. Give is the main verb, gave it's a past tense form, and given is it is a past participle, or you can say V3 form of the verb. Or so Rima gave us a present for our wedding anniversary, right? So Rima gave a present to us on our wedding anniversary, right? My father built this house in 1990. Father built this house in 1990. So in 1990, my father built. Built, some of the verb form are it will be the same in a main verb, in a past tense form of the verb, as well as in a V3 form, like built. So you don't have to put you don't have to mention in such a way like built, builted, or something else. Built, built, built. The V1 form, if you use a V1 form, or if you use a V2 form, if you use a V3 form, in the three of the form, built, it will be the same. So my father built this house in 1990. So in 1990, my father built this house. Okay. So now any action, if you want to mention simply like this action happened in the past, right? It is called simple past tense. Sado bhutkal. What is the form of a simple past tense? Subject, verb, object. In a verb, we have to use V2 form, past tense form of the verb, right? Any question? Okay. So whenever we are talking about past continuous tense, so first of all, you have to keep in mind one thing, and that is it is unfinished ongoing process. Okay. Past continuous tense. In Gujarati, you can say chalu bhutkal, right? What is the form of the past continuous tense? Subject plus was or were, main form of the verb, and which form you have to use? V2 form and object. I just give you 4 sentences. You just look at here. Present simple, I drink coffee every morning. Sentence is I drink coffee every morning. Present continuous. I am drinking coffee right now. I am drinking coffee right now. Simple past. I drank coffee yesterday. I drank coffee yesterday. And past continuous. I was drinking coffee. I was drinking coffee while I got a phone call. Simple present tense, present continuous tense, simple past tense and past continuous tense, right? So, what are the main differences between simple present tense, present continuous tense, simple past tense and past continuous tense? So, I am giving you 4 sentences. By these 4 sentences, you will have a more idea about it, like this sentence is related to which thing. Like 4 sentences you have to keep in a mind and just think like this sentence belongs to this tense. What is the main situation? Why we have to use this verb particularly in this tense only, right? The first sentence is I drink coffee every morning. I drink coffee every day. Second sentence, I am drinking coffee right now. I am drinking coffee right now. I drank coffee yesterday. The fourth sentence, I was drinking coffee when I got a So, these are the 4 sentences. Can you read it once again? The first sentence is I drink coffee every day. I am drinking coffee right now. I drank coffee yesterday. I was drinking coffee this morning when I got a phone call, right? Now, can you imagine the first sentence related to which tense? Like I drink coffee every day. So, it shows everyday routine, habit. So this sentence belongs to simple present tense, right? So it is a simple present tense. Okay. I am drinking coffee right now. Currently, I am drinking coffee. I am teaching you. I am speaking. You are listening. You are eating. Right? So, at the moment, at the time of speaking, that action is going on. It means it is a present continuous tense. So, the second sentence, I am drinking coffee right now. This sentence belongs to present continuous tense. I drank coffee yesterday. Yesterday, I drank coffee. Drink, drank, drunk. It is a V2 form, past form of the verb. It means it is a sentence. It mainly belongs to the simple past tense. Yesterday, I drank coffee. So, right, it is a V2 form. And it's a simply in this sentence, the action is simply say like the action is completed. I drank coffee yesterday. Now, the action is completed. So, this sentence belongs to simple past tense. So, second sentence, it belongs to simple past tense. Next sentence, I was drinking coffee this morning when I got a phone call. It means, I tell you, if in any sentence there is unfinished, ongoing process is going, right, condition is going on. So, in that situation, it indicates in a past form. So, that sentence belongs to past continuous tense. So, when I got a phone call, when I got a call, at that time, I was drinking a coffee. I did not finish my coffee, but the process of drinking, it is going on. The condition is going on. So, I was drinking coffee this morning when I get a phone call. So, this sentence represents past continuous tense, right? It is a past continuous tense. So, mainly we have discussed four tenses: simple present tense, present continuous tense, simple past tense and past continuous tense. Another one difference I wanted to show you, I just give you a one timeline: past, future and now. I show you this thing through the chart. Okay, just we take a one parameter or a timeline. It is a present, now, sorry, it is a past, it is a past, now and future. In the same way in second sentence, past, now, future. What is the difference in all of the sentence that we are going to see? Past, now and future. So, whenever we are talking about simple present tense, I drink coffee every day. So, it is a habit There is no anything included like it is a past or it is a future or something else, right? It is a continuous process, right? It is a habit. Every day I eat it. Every day, sorry, I drink it, right? Second situation, I am drinking a coffee right now. So, it means there is the timeline is mainly focus on now. There is a no past, there is a no future, right? Currently, I am drinking a coffee. So, the timeline mainly focus on now. Next sentence, I drank coffee yesterday. So, it means it mainly focus on a past tense, only on a past tense. There is a no now, there is a no future. So, in past tense, if there is a one timeline, past, future and now, so it will be main focus on past tense. And if we are talking about past continuous tense, so there are in parameter, there is also 3 parameters, right, in timeline: past, now and future. But in this situation, in past continuous tense, I have already mentioned this thing that it is a unfinished and ongoing process. It means it has started in the past. The action is started in the past, but it is not stopped. The drinking coffee, the process of drink a coffee, it is not completed, it is ongoing, it is unfinished. So, the thing is going on. If we are talking about, if we have to talk about the structure of all the parameter, all the tenses. So, simple present tense, subject, verb, object. In simple present tense, main form of the verb, and with a third person singular, we have to use s or es. If we talk about present continuous, what is the form of the verb? Subject, to be form, you can say, or you can say am, is, are plus main form of the verb with ing. Now you have a question like with which subject we have to use am, is or are. If the subject is I, so with I subject you have to use am. If any subject is particularly a singular form, so in that case you have to use is. And if the subject is a plural form, is in a plural, so you have to use are. It means there was one, I show you one, we have already discussed like this chart, I, we, you, he, she, it and they. So, in this situation, if it is the situation, so with I you have to use am. Is, you have to use it with singular form. These all are the singular form. You, he, she and it. With you already, always you have to use are. You can't use it is, right? You is. It is mentioned in a singular form, but always you have to prefer you as a plural form. So, with you, you have to use to be form are. It is a mandatory. In the same way, past continuous tense, subject, was or were, main form of the verb with ing. And in the same way, we have to do the same. So, mainly simple past tense or simple present tense, present continuous tense or past continuous tense. You just have to keep in mind like the structure of the sentence is the same, subject, verb and object. If it is a simple present tense, right. So, in a simple present tense, if it is a everyday routine, if it is a universal truth, if it is a factual truth, right? So, in that case you have to use simple present tense, and verb form you have to use main verb form, right, V1 form. And if the subject is third person singular, so in that case you have to put S or ES after the main verb. If it is a simple past tense, in simple past tense what you do? Normally what you have to do? In simple past tense, if that action happened in the past, it is finished. Yesterday I bought a new dress. Yesterday I got a mobile. Yesterday I saw one movie, right? So, in this sentences already the action is completed. Now, it is not unfinished, it is not going on, it is completed in the past. So, in that particular scene we have to use simple past tense, subject, verb, object, and in verb you have to use mainly V2 form. V2 form, it means past tense form verb, right? The same way present continuous tense or past continuous tense. What is the main difference about it? In present continuous tense, whenever you are talking about at that time, that situation is going on. Currently you are watching me. Currently I am speaking. Currently I am talking about present continuous tense. So, at the moment, at the time of speaking, that action is going on, right? So, that situation if you wanted to show, so for that case you have to use present continuous tense. What is the form of present continuous tense? Subject, verb, object, okay, but subject plus to be form, am, is, are. Is you have to use with singular subject and are with plural form of the verb, right, plural subjects, right, and I, am you have to use with the subject I. So, subject plus to be form plus main verb, and after the main verb you have to put ing. So, it shows the process is going on. I am watching video. Currently I am watching YouTube video. I, subject, am, to be form, watch, main verb. After watch I put ing. I am watching. So, currently the process of watching video is going on. So, in this case we have to use present continuous tense. What is the past continuous tense? So, in past continuous tense I have already mentioned, and last time I repeat it, like in past continuous tense the action happened in the past. No, in past continuous tense it is unfinished process which is going on. Like I have already gave you one example, like I was drinking a coffee this morning when I got a phone call. So, when I got a phone call, at that time I was drinking a coffee. At that time my process of drinking a coffee was not over, it was going on, right. So, I hope these 4 tenses are clear in your mind, right. What is the form of this tense? Subject, have or has, past participle form of the verb plus object, right. This is the form of a present perfect tense. I just give you 2 or 3 examples, so you will have a more clarity about it. uses. Talk about experiences. Second uses. I have taught history to many students. Talk about recent times. I have finished my homework. Now our next tense is present perfect tense. In Gujarati you can say Purna Vartaman Kal. What is the form of this tense? How you will structure this sentence? Subject, to have form, have or has, it means to have form. Past participle form of the verb. What is the past participle? V1, V2, V3. V3 form of the verb, we can include it in a past participle and object. Okay. Now you have to be very clear that where you have to use have and where you have to use has. Like in simple present tense, what we did, if it is a third person singular, so subject is a third person singular, so after the main verb we put s or es after the main verb, right? In the same way, if it is a third person singular, if the subject is a third person singular, so with that subject we have to use has, H-A-S. And if it is, the subject is not third person singular, it means he, she and it. If the subject is three of these are, so you have to use has. And if the subject is I, we, you or they, so with that subject you have to mainly use to have form. Which form? Have, H-A-V-E. Like in a simple sense, I have completed my homework. If instead of I, if I say Reena, so Reena, so now Reena, it is a third person singular. Reena is the name of the girl, so it means it includes, it is included in she. So she has finished her homework, right? So if it is the subject form is a third person singular, so with that you have to use has, otherwise you have to use have form. Past participle, there are so many rules and regulations. There is not any particular, like if there is a this thing, so you have to make a past participle in this way. You just have to memorize it, like give, gave, given, eat, ate, eaten, built, built, built. These three form of the verbs are the same in such way. So if present perfect tense, it means talk about experience. It may two main uses of this tense. First use is that talk about experiences. Talk about experiences. I have taught history to many students, right? I have taught history to many students. Second, talk about recent action. I have finished my homework. I can say that I have finished simple past tense, right? Before 10 minute or before 15 minute, I have taught simple past tense, right? So I have taught simple past tense. So the process of teaching simple past tense, it is already over, right? It is finished, right? So I have finished my homework. Talk about recent actions. Whenever you are talking about recent actions, at that time you have to use present perfect tense, okay? And whenever you are talking about experiences, I have taught history to many students, right? So, as a teacher, I have taught history to many students and my profession is as a teacher. So, the process is continuous, it is going on, right? But if I write this sentence in such a way, when I was a teacher, I taught history to many students. Is there any difference? First sentence is I have taught history to many students. Second sentence, when I was a teacher, I taught history to many students. What is the main difference between this? First sentence indicates I have taught history to many students, right? There is not a particular indication that the process of teaching history is stopped, right? The process indirectly, unconsciously, it is the process is going on, right? That teaching a history is continuous process. But when, if you read second sentence, when I was a teacher, I taught history to many students. So, particularly now I am not a teacher, right? But when I was a teacher, at that time, I taught history to many students, right? So, to teach history, right, that process is completed. Now, currently my profession is different. So, currently I am not teaching history to students. That was my past. So, whenever you use past tense, I taught history to many students, it means it indicates it is a past tense. And whenever you are saying in such a way, I have taught history to many students, it indicates the main thing is that as a teacher, your profession is currently going on. To teach students, to teach history to many students, this process is not stopped, it is still going on, right? So, in present perfect tense, you just have to clear in mind present perfect tense. In Gujarati, you can say Purna Vartaman Kal. What is the form of the verb? Subject, verb, object, okay, that we know, but accept it. In a verb, we have to use to have form, have or has. If it is a third person singular, with that subject, you have to use has. With other subject, you have to use have. And past participle form of the verb, it means V3 form and object. Whenever any situation is, you can say over or it is completed in a past, it means it is a past tense. But when you use have or has and past participle, it means that process is currently not completed. I am not saying it is going on, but that process is not completed. It is not stopped, right? So, I hope these ideas are clear in your mind. Simple, simple present tense, simple past tense, present continuous tense, past continuous tense, present perfect tense, okay? I give you one or two more ideas about it. Now, our last tense, today's in this session, I am going to talk about our last tense, and that is past perfect tense. What is the form of this tense? Subject, had, past participle, object. I just give you one example. When we got to the theatre, the movie started. Second sentence, this is the first. Second sentence is, when we got to the theatre, the movie had started. Okay. So now we are talking about past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. Purna bhutkal. What is the form of the verb? What is the structure? Subject, verb, object. In a present perfect tense, we have used subject, have or has, plus past participle form of the verb and object. In the same way, past perfect tense, how we have to structure the pattern of the sentence? Subject, had, plus past participle and object. Now, there is a one very good thing is that in a past perfect tense, you don't have to worry about it is a third person singular or not. If it is a present perfect tense, you have to very clear in your mind, like if subject is a third person singular, you have to use has. Instead with the other subjects, you have to use have. But in past perfect tense, with each and every subject, if it is I or we or you or he, she, it or they, with each and every subject, you have to use had. Okay? And past participle, it means V3 form of the verb. So here I have written, you will have a more idea when you will read this two sentence. The first sentence is, when we got to the theatre, the movie started. When we got to the theatre, the movie started. Second sentence is, when we got to the theatre, the movie had started. Can you recognize any difference between these two sentences? Another time I read it. When we got to the theatre, the movie started. Second sentence is, when we got to the theatre, the movie had started. Another time I use that timeline. Past, now, future. If you see the first sentence, when we got, past, now, future. The same way, past, now, future. When we got to the theatre, the movie started. So, both of the action happened in the past, right? So, when we got to the theatre, the movie started. Okay? When we got to the theatre, this action, both of the sentences are also in a past, right? So, when we got to the theatre, the movie had started. But what is the main difference between this? When we got to the theatre, okay, the movie had started. When we got to the theatre, the movie had started already, right? So this is the main difference between this two part. In this, when we got to the theater, the movie started. So both of the action happens at the moment, right? There is a nothing like the first action happened first or the second sentence action happened second, right? But in the second sentence, when you see the second sentence, right, at that time you will realize that when we got to the theater, the movie had started. So when we reached to the theater, before that the movie had already started, right? So the movie had started. So if in any sentence, if there are two actions and in that two actions, any action, any action is completed first. So in that particular sentence, you have to use past perfect tense. Okay, when we got to the theater, the movie had started. So movie already started. So this thing happened first. So in that situation, the movie had started. So this statement we have to structure in past perfect tense. It means subject, verb, object. The movie had started. And other sentence, we have to mention it simple past tense when we got to the theater. I hope this thing is clear in your mind, right? So present perfect tense and past perfect tense. These are the two tenses that we have discussed today. In present perfect tense, what you have to keep in your mind? Like I taught English, it means it is completed. In a past I taught English. But if I say I have taught English, it means the process of teaching English is not stopped. It is going on. So for that situation, you have to use present perfect tense. And the form of the structure is, the form of the sentence is subject, have or has, main form of the verb or V3 form of the verb and object. With third person singular, you have to use what? With a third person singular, you have to use has, right? If it is a simple present tense, you have to use s or es. In the same way, if we are talking about past perfect tense, the form of the verb is the same, subject, had and past participle. But what you have to keep in mind one thing, that if there are the two actions are there and if one action is completed first, so that in that sentence you have to use past perfect tense. Like in this sentence, we got to the theater, the movie had started. So when we reached to the theater, before that the movie had already started. So in this two sentence, to start a movie, this action happened first. So in that situation, the movie had already started. So in that situation, in that particular sentence, you have to use past perfect tense. So I hope in this session you have learned in a very good manner like present perfect tense and past perfect tense. In our next session, we are going to discuss about simple future tense. What is the difference between going to and will? When you have to use I am going to, or when you have to use I will go. Whatever the tenses today we have learned, it is clear in your mind. So, thank you so much.